Hey guys, welcome back. Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans are turning the United States into a neo-communist nation. Let's get into it. So, Donald Trump has been pressuring companies to do his bidding, okay? To basically work for the government. And how is he doing this? Well, the first way in which he did this was to convince Apple to invest $100 billion in the United States. Kind of like a pay-to-play kind of program, okay? Or else he's going to tariff them 100%, against their goods coming in from China. So that was item number one, in which we're kind of becoming a communist nation, to be honest. Item number two is AMD and Nvidia have to pay a 15% export tax of their chips to China and maybe other nations. I don't know what's in that deal, but there's another form of communism for you, okay? The government getting involved in corporations, in an American company, by the way. These are 3 American companies. And then the third thing was this week, they announced they're going to take a stake in Intel, potentially. Now, it's not confirmed that this is going to go through, but that is on its way to communism, guys. We are headed to basically being the Russian Soviet Union, okay? Our founding fathers were not interested in the government getting involved in our corporate business. That is not how capitalism works, and I don't understand why so many people are bowing down to this communist, guys. That's what he is, period. This is communism 101, and it's probably going to get worse. They're already talking about having more pay-to-play type of concepts with big multinational companies that you and I are invested in. You think that helps the bottom line for these companies? You think that helps the freedom of these companies? It does not, all right? And they could just expand these programs to every small business in America. And that is right there the reason why I cannot stand that man, okay? He is not a capitalist. He is not a businessman for the most part. He's a real estate media guy. He's a brand guy. He doesn't understand a lot of the things with business when it comes to logistics, supply chain, inventory, everything that goes along with it. We are in a global economy, guys, and that is not going to change. And so now we've flipped the dime on this economy, and every company out there is struggling, including mine, probably including yours, so on and so forth. All for what? So we could have some social, political strife, to deal with, whether it's immigration or whatever else is on the table. We are ruining what made this country great, and that is capitalism. All right, that is what our founding fathers believed in. They were all entrepreneurs and business people, guys. That is why they came here, to be business people. They didn't come here asking for the government to take 15% off the table when they wanted to export a great product they have. So I think it's a slippery slope, to be honest, okay? You start with Nvidia and AMD, and everyone's like, oh, that's cool because they make tons of money. They make billions of dollars. Everyone just, throws a blind eye to it. But what's next? Is it your small business? Can you not export to, let's say, the UK or EU or Africa? Are they going to charge you a pay-to-play sort of thing? This is the thing you got to think about when you vote, okay? And I'm not saying that, we had good options, to be honest. Option 1 with the Democrats was socialism. Option 2 with the MAGA Republicans is communism. What do we want to do? Do we want socialism or communism? Or do we want something new? Okay, and that's where I hope Elon Musk throws the gauntlet down and gets this new America party back to what the founding fathers intended years ago. Okay, they intended to not have government in our business, guys. That's the bottom line. That is what American freedom is all about. It is not about like the freedom to go, buy a refrigerator. It's not about that. It's about the freedom to do business. And Donald Trump is a dictator, communist businessman, just like, guess who's his buddy? Vladimir Putin. There's a reason why they're buddy-buddy, you know, having fun in Alaska. They're talking about how to have communism in the United States, to be honest, guys. I guarantee you, Donald Trump's like, oh, how are you running the oil company over there? I'll tell you what, guys, if you're invested in oil companies, don't be surprised if Donald Trump nationalizes, you know, one of these American oil companies. Or how about some of those Texas oil companies, guys? Is that what you want? Do you want to have an excise tax on maybe, you know, all the oil coming from the ground? You guys get the point. Like, pay attention to what you're voting for, all right? Pay attention to the nuances of what they're saying. Little tidbits here and there, you're going to get an idea of what's going on. Now, if you like communism, that's cool. You got it going on because you got all these tariffs that'll pay for, you know, maybe you won't have income tax someday. And then you got all these excise taxes like the 15% export tax. Or sorry, you got all these export taxes, pay-to-play things, and maybe you'll get a paycheck from the government. Is that what you guys want? Is that what you voted for? A paycheck from the government? Honestly, that's where it's headed. They're already talking about it. Like, oh, all these tariffs, we're going to get rid of income taxes. There you go, guys. You know, one tax to replace the other tax. And then, I don't know, we'll give you all stimulus checks. Something silly like that. At the end of the day, they're going to keep printing money too, by the way. That big, beautiful bill is just the money printer to the sky. And if you don't have assets, you're going to get burned at the end of the day. All right. So I don't know, you know, I can't tell you who to vote for. You know, some people vote on single social issues, but I'm voting on capitalism. I'm voting on what the founding fathers cared about the most. They cared about freedom to do business. And that's how I vote. Okay. And I hope that I've got some candidate to vote for. To be honest, I don't know if I will in 2028. Hopefully I'll have like maybe an independent candidate I can find, or I don't know, somebody from the America Party. Maybe Elon Musk will finally launch it. I don't know if he will, though, to be honest, because I think he's gotten a lot of kickback from all the people he's pissed off from the left and from the right. So we'll see what happens. You know, it's going to be an interesting future. I don't know if I'm too happy about it, to be honest. I believe in the freedom of our country to do what they need to do to get business done. America is a business. It is not neo-communism or, you know, neo-socialism, whatever it is. I'm just sick and tired of them claiming they've got all these great ideas and then they turn around and they become a communist country. Guys, we got to start thinking differently in this country. So anyways, I know it's a little bit of a rant. I just saw those three news stories about companies and the government, and I got kind of fired up and mad about it. So you guys let me know what you think. Are we turning into a neo-communist country led by Donald Trump? Or is it something different? Okay, what is this? You know, what is this hybrid thing we're doing? So let me know in the comments below. I'm sure I'll get a good couple ones out here. And like and subscribe to the content if you do like the content, and take a look at my previous video if you could. And everyone have a good day. Later.